Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory here with your afternoon update. And we do have kind of a gray, gloomy day across the tri-state, and some of you are getting a little bit of very light rain today. But in general, it's just kind of cool and cloudy out there. We do have this spotty chance of rain, though, not just today, but sticking with us all the way through the end of this week, maybe even into the weekend. But there is warmer, drier weather in store, especially as we get into the start of next week. So let's jump into those rain chances. Notice it's a very isolated chance. We're not talking about any widespread rain. None of these days will be a washout, but there is just this very isolated chance of rain today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and maybe even lingering into the weekend before we truly start to dry things out. Let's take a look at the current Doppler radar. Mainly dry across the region right now. We've had this very light, very spotty, almost just a sprinkle present on and off throughout the day today, but it looks like we're dry right now, and that's despite the fact that we're still very cloudy. You can see here clouds spread across the entire region right now. It is still possible that under these mostly cloudy skies we could get a couple of more sprinkles as we go through this evening and into the night tonight. Many of us will stay dry. Just don't be shocked if you do briefly get caught under a little bit of very light rain at some point this evening or into the overnight hours. Tomorrow, our best chance of rain is in the morning. I do think this model may be overplaying it just a little bit. It's a very isolated chance of rain, but some of us will probably get at least a brief shower at some point Wednesday morning. Then that rain tapers off, and I actually think we'll get a little bit of sunshine in here Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, we start out mostly dry, but then the rain chances pick up later in the day, starting with a very isolated chance of rain Thursday afternoon, but really the rain picks up as we get into Thursday night. Scattered showers possible during the overnight hours Thursday night, and then some of that rain may linger into Friday. As for our risk of seeing any kind of thunderstorms, no thunderstorms of any kind expected today, and I doubt we'll see any tomorrow either. Just this very isolated chance of some very light rain showers. Now, as we get into that rain Thursday night, there is that possibility we could see just general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. So overnight Thursday night, there is that possibility we could get a pocket of heavy rain, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but even that seems like a bit of a stretch, and we're certainly not expecting severe weather of any kind as we go through the next few days. As for our temperatures, all these clouds have kept us on the cooler side. We've kind of just hung out in the 60s all day today. It's currently 65 in Newburgh and Owensboro. Had a little more rain that way today. In Evansville, at 69, a little farther north in Mount Carmel, sitting at 71. And as we continue into the afternoon, we may tack on another degree or two and see a few more of those locations climbing into those low 70s. But in general, upper 60s to low 70s is about as warm as it's going to get today, because we just don't really see much of a break in this cloud cover. We don't have any sunshine to warm us up. And again, there is still that very, very slight chance you could see a little bit of mist or drizzle or maybe a brief sprinkle as we go through this evening and into the overnight hours. But in general, it does look mostly dry. Once the sun sets, those temperatures start to drop back through the 60s, and we eventually bottom out in the upper 50s to low 60s by the end of the night tonight. And then tomorrow, again, we've got that chance of some showers in the morning, but by the afternoon, I actually think we'll get a little bit of sunshine in here. That will help warm us up. So tomorrow afternoon will be a little bit warmer than today, with highs climbing into the mid to maybe even upper 70s, just depending on how much sunshine we get. Now, we have been running a little cooler than average for several days now. You'll remember back in the middle of the month, we had that stretch of 80s, nearly hit 90 back on the 15th. But then after that rain moved through this past Tuesday, it really kicked off this stretch of cooler temperatures that have been hanging around with 60s and 70s the past few days. Today, we continue that trend. We have had quite a bit of rain this month. The last time we really got some heavy rain were those storms on Tuesday of last week that I mentioned that kind of kicked off this pattern of cooler weather. But we did have some light scattered showers over Sunday and then again on Memorial Day, although in general Memorial Day weekend ended up being a little bit drier than we thought it would be, so we kind of lucked out there. In total, we've had just over 5 inches of rain so far this month, which is about a ½ inch of rain more than normal for the month of May. And then on the year, we're still running a surplus of more than 5 inches, as we've had heavy rain for much of this year. We had a lot of snow and ice back in January, then we had flooding in February and again in April. So it's just been a very wet year so far. On the temperatures, we're actually running pretty close to average, even though we've had some very, very warm days this month. We've also had some very cool days, and they've kind of canceled each other out. Taking another look back on this date in history, going back to 2004, on May 27th, 2004, we had severe weather in the tri-state. There was a line of severe thunderstorms that produced widespread, extremely damaging winds. This caused at least $3 million in damage. And in Illinois, 2 people were injured when their camper overturned in those high winds. 1 person was killed and numerous others were injured when their cars crashed into fallen trees. This widespread wind damage knocked down a lot of trees, which then crashed into those cars, or the cars crashed into the trees, whichever happened first. But several people were injured and 1 person was killed that way. And in Davis County, Kentucky, we had straight line winds. Again, this wasn't a tornado, straight line winds up to 120 miles an hour that either damaged or destroyed over 100 homes. So we were tracking some very widespread, extremely damaging winds across the tri-state on this date in 2004. Thankfully, nothing like that in the forecast now, while it is going to remain kind of partly to mostly cloudy with these hit or miss rain chances through the end of this week. No severe weather of any kind. Temperatures continue to run cooler than average with highs in the 70s through the end of this week. Now, as we get into the weekend, there's still a slight chance we could catch a stray shower, mainly late in the day Saturday into Sunday, but it's a spotty chance. I'm not convinced everyone will see that rain, but there is an isolated chance of rain over the weekend. In general, once we get into Saturday and Sunday, though, we start to see a little more sunshine, and that will help warm us up back to where we really should be for the end of the month of May, sort of heading into June here. Lower 80s start to creep back in, and then as the sunny skies continue, we keep warming up as we start next week with highs climbing into the mid 80s. Now, if you're wondering about beyond that, the temperature outlook then from Wednesday, June 4th up through June 10th does show a trend toward above average temperatures as well as above average precipitation. So as we get to the end of this next month and into the start of June here, Monday, Tuesday, it does seem like we could see mostly sunny and warmer weather. Beyond that, those warmer temperatures may hang around. We may see more 80s in the forecast, but it does seem like we'll see a trend back toward rainier weather as well, maybe some showers and thunderstorms as we get later into next week. But again, that's just a general outlook, not a specific forecast for any given day. So here's the summary in case you missed it. A slight chance of rain tomorrow, mainly in the morning with some sunshine in the afternoon. Thursday into Friday, the best chance of rain is overnight. So that rain will be overnight Thursday night into Friday. Then that rain tapers off, mostly dry Saturday and Sunday, but I wouldn't rule out a stray shower over the weekend, mainly late in the day Saturday, kind of lingering into Sunday, but mostly sunny, which will help warm us up. Highs returning to the low 80s over the weekend, and then mid 80s with mostly sunny skies as we get into the start of next week. Taking a quick check of the comments, not seeing any questions at this time. Thank you as always for watching, Laura and Beverly. We appreciate you guys. If you do have any questions along the way, you can always drop those in the comment section of the Facebook Live video. We do try and check in on those comments at least once through the course of the show to see if anybody has any questions about the forecast. But this forecast is fairly straightforward. Not a lot of concerns. You'll notice no alert days, no severe weather, or even really much in the way of thunderstorms expected in this week ahead. We've just got these very isolated chance of rain where you may get caught under a brief shower, so that may impact some outdoor plans, but in general, I think most plans will be able to continue as is. Keep in mind, though, it will still be cooler than average on through the end of this week. I know a lot of folks were looking forward to the pools opening up over Memorial Day weekend. We didn't exactly have great pool weather. It was a little cool for swimming, and that will still be the case through the end of this week, but maybe as we get into next week and those temperatures climb back into the 80s, folks will finally start to be able to really get out and enjoy the pools and spray parks and whatnot that opened over the holiday weekend. All right, if there are no questions, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Jeff Lyons will be back tonight with our 14 First Alert weather show on all our streaming platforms at 9 p.m. So however you're watching me now, you can watch him tonight at 9. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the 14 News YouTube channel. We do now stream on YouTube Live, and on the 14 News YouTube channel, you can also see some other goodies, including Jeff's podcast is viewable there. So lots of good stuff on that. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the 14 News YouTube channel and catch us there as well. But you can also watch these on Facebook Live and wherever you normally stream 14 News on our app or our website. So hope you'll join Jeff for that tonight at 9. He'll have any updates to the forecast then. And until then, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back on here at 2:30 with another updated look at that forecast. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.